Okay, so here's a video from an event that Megyn Kelly did as part of her show, where someone in the audience asked her the question what she thinks about Candace Owens asking questions about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And her answer is really quite remarkable. She essentially says, well, the people who are covering it up tell me this is what happened, and I have 100% confidence in that. Let's take a look.
Owens of it all. About the Candace Owens of it all. Okay.
Candace, what are they? I didn't know they had open bar at these events. These events are cooler than I thought. Sounds a little sauce.
About the Candace Owens of it all. Okay. I love her, and I really do feel like there's potentially truth to what she's saying. What do you think? Is there something nefarious going on?
Are you talking about Charlie's murder? So I don't listen to Candace's show, but I am 100% convinced that Charlie was killed by Tyler Robinson, a crazed leftist who murdered him because he didn't like Charlie's messaging on the trans issue.
Okay, so you don't.
Why did that bead of light suddenly disappear from her forehead?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So you don't listen to anything that Candace Owens has to say. You haven't been paying attention to any of the questions that she's asked or any of the holes that she's poked in the official story. And she has provided receipts for at least some of the claims that she has made. So there's good reason to believe that she's not just, blowing a bunch of hot air. I haven't looked into any of that, but I'm 100% convinced that the government is telling me the truth. And what do I base that on? Well, let's see.
That is my firm belief after having talked to the people at Turning Point, the FBI, the security team that was on the ground, and many others.
Okay, so after talking to the people who are obviously lying and covering this up, I'm convinced that what they're telling me is true. I'm 100% convinced of that. Red pilled Megyn Kelly, red pilled no more. Let's take a listen to that one more time.
Issue. That is my firm belief after having talked to the people at Turning Point, the FBI, the security team that was on the ground, and many others.
After speaking with Johnny Cochran and Robert Shapiro, I'm convinced OJ had nothing to do with the crime that they say he did. After my conversations with his lawyers, who insist that he didn't do it, I'm 100% convinced of that.
I've come to that with a good faith basis, and I have nothing that would shake me from it.
Look at how astounding that statement is. I've come to this from a good faith basis, and there's nothing that can shake me from it. Those two thoughts are contradictory. That is a paradox. If you arrive at something in good faith, you can always be persuaded of the opposite. For example, I've said this every time, almost every time we've done a segment on this, that if they bring evidence and they can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Tyler Robinson did this and acted alone, I am 100% open to accepting that as fact. I'd have absolutely zero problem accepting that as fact. I am not the one with a political axe to grind. It is the people who are insisting, despite the web of bullshit they have already spun about this case, that Tyler Robinson acted alone because he had a trans lover and didn't like what Charlie Kirk had to say about that issue. They are clearly the ones with a political axe to grind, since they insisted that that was the motive, essentially from day one. So if you arrive at a position in good faith, you can always be persuaded of the opposite. There's no such thing as, well, no, I came to this position in good faith and there's nothing that can shake me from it. That doesn't make sense. Those two statements contradict each other. Let's hear it one more time.
And I've come to that with a good faith basis, and I have nothing that would shake me from it. I don't begrudge anybody asking questions, and I understand the controversy around where she's gone with it. But I think it's really kind of a matter of your preference for your broadcaster.
Okay, so that's Megyn Kelly realizing that, you know what, a lot of my viewers also like Candace Owens, And so I can't validate what Candace Owens is saying, but I also can't come on too strong against her because that's going to alienate a good portion of my audience, like the person who just came to my event to ask me this question. So I'm going to now have to punt on this and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I 100% believe the official story that Candace Owens is poking holes in. But hey, you do you. You do you. It's all good either way. It's all good either way. That is a grifter right there. That is someone who's afraid to split the audience. She's afraid to take a position because she doesn't want to split her audience. Someone as rich as she is and as connected as she is still has to fence it in that way.
I can't
Bad.
speak to Candace's credibility. I'm going to introduce a lot of you to a phrase you might not be familiar with, lug. And I was a lug in my college days, and I spent a summer in Paris. It's a lesbian until graduation. And I actually dated Brigitte Macron. So I know Candace is lying because Brigitte Macron, that wonderful summer, was my girlfriend. So I know she's a liar.
So she's a liar. But you know what? I have a lot of respect for her anyway. And if you like her, then that's great. That's great.
Fine.
Just don't stop watching me, whatever you do. That's what I
don't
really
know
want
if she should be one of the 2 people that you exclusively get your information from.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But you do you.
I don't begrudge anybody asking questions, and I understand the controversy around where she's gone with it. But I think it's really kind of a matter of your preference for your broadcaster. And, you know, Candace is many people's cup of tea, and she's not other people's, and I'm the same. And I haven't responded well to people demanding that I try to police her speech.
Oh, no. See, I mean, that's someone having it both ways. I mean, that is just a pathetic answer. That is a pitiful answer. First of all, what do you mean? Okay, so I haven't looked into any of the claims she's made, but I know based on the word of Kash Patel and the Turning Point's higher ups that Tyler Robinson did this and acted alone. What evidence have you been privy to? Because if it's the same evidence we've all been privy to, which is some really nonsensical story about how he got on the roof without the gun or with the gun in his pants and then disassembled the gun and then left the gun in the woods, or whether it's what struck even Matt Walsh and Steve Bannon as a clearly manufactured text message exchange between him and his trans lover, who, by the way, has gone missing. Now, I guess nobody knows where he is now, the trans lover, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, based on that evidence, you're 100% convinced. And I arrived at that in good faith, but nothing can shake that. But hey, look, Candace is not everybody's cup of tea, but it's okay if she's yours. I mean, that is a person who is just afraid to take a position either way.
Yeah, I mean, remember, Megyn Kelly is somebody who actually came out of the corporate media, who the corporate media landscape is now changed in such a way that there's more money to be made going and strolling among the peasants and pretending to be accessible and to respect them. And so that's the grift. That's the grift. She's just playing the grift. She's particularly, I think, because of her corporate media background, I find her particularly bad at that because she's not used to having to do it. She doesn't come out of that background like Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon completely understands how to play on the emotions of his misled audience. She doesn't quite get it. You can see she calculates for a second. Find 2 people you trust. Like, she just pulled that out of her ass.
Right.
Like, she's not a natural dealing with the peasants. She's not really comfortable with these people.
Yeah. No, that definitely comes across.
Please clap.